welcome to the start of another reading vlog. It's been quite some time since my last video here on my channel, and I don't know, I think my last video was probably like a journaling video. I'm not really sure, but yeah, I have not journaled or read since my last videos relating to that. I've actually given birth to a beautiful baby girl, and I think after nearly 2 months of having her, I am ready to start getting into the swing of things, back into reading, because I have not picked up a book since then. I've tried because I've just been so overwhelmed with the newborn, and I've tried picking up a book, but I think I just wasn't ready. I was like forcing myself to read, and I didn't want to do that. I didn't want to force myself into anything, but I think I'm finally starting to get into the groove of things. So like I said, I did give birth to a beautiful baby girl, and I can probably talk about like my birth story and all of that later. But right now I just want to make an introduction as to what I am reading, what I'm going to be reading. My physical TBR includes Butcher and Blackbird. This is a book of the month pick. I picked this up because it was very controversial on BookTube. Some people were saying that they loved it, others were saying that they hated it. I think it really had to do with people's personality and if you could stomach what the book is about. And I personally love true crime. I listen to true crime podcast and I watch YouTube videos related to true crime. So I actually have already started this. In fact, I was starting a reading vlog at the end of April because I was leaving my job to be a stay-at-home mom, so I took a week off before giving birth. So I had planned to read this book my last week before giving birth, and I actually had filmed like my announcement that I was pregnant. I can insert a little clip where I actually even filmed my belly, and I ended up deleting that footage because, again, I don't want to get into my birth story, but I ended up giving birth that week. So my plans were just like thrown out the window, but that is okay, it happens. So I have already started this. Like I said, I'm on page 158. It looks like I'm probably roughly almost halfway, if not already there. I'm liking it so far. I'm not saying I love it because I don't want to say I love the M word. But yeah, so this is what I'm reading physically. I think I am going to pick this up right now because my baby is taking a nap and I have some time to read. I have been watching Bridgerton season 3 part 2, and I'm on the last episode and I have like 15 minutes left. I had just started it while she was falling asleep, and I was so tempted to stay on the couch and watch it, but I said, you know what, I need to film the introduction, start my reading. I also picked up an audiobook. I picked up The Teacher by Freida McFadden. I have been wanting to get into her writing because I always hear such praise of her book. What is it? The Housekeeper? The Housemaid? The Housemaid? I want to get into her writing. I want to read that book eventually, but I don't want to start off with it because of how often I hear of that specific book. So I have picked up The Teacher by Freida McFadden on audiobook, and I'm going to be listening to that when I'm like working around the house, because again, I am juggling being a new mom and while she takes a nap or while she is doing like her little independent play, I do clean, and I'm ready to pick up audiobooks. Before having a baby, I listened to plenty of audiobooks, and I think I'm going to listen to even more because even whenever I'm like feeding her, I am at a standstill. I cannot do anything else. I can't pick up a book because I have my baby and the bottle in both hands, and these past 2 months I have been watching TV and I'm just tired. I feel like I need to start getting productive. So no more watching TV. At least I can listen to an audiobook while I'm feeding her. Yeah, like I said, right now she's taking a nap, so I'm gonna go ahead and read as much as I can and give you guys an update maybe later tonight. I don't know because she is on her own schedule and I just have to follow. been a while since I've actually sat down on my desk, so it was kind of cluttered. I took the time to declutter just a tiny bit because I can't read and I can't focus if I see a lot of clutter around me. And honestly, I can't wait to get rid of this. This is the setup for my work from home, but I'm going to send my resignation letter soon, which means I get to turn all this in and I get to clear out this here, which I'm excited for. I believe I owe you guys a reading update. So I honestly didn't even read a lot of Butcher and Blackbird, but I do want to sit down and get some of this read today. What I did get a lot of reading of is The Teacher by Freida McFadden. My thoughts so far is I really am enjoying it. It is a thriller, it is dual POV, and it is first person, so the narrators are the characters, and we follow a teacher and a student. So this teacher, her marriage is kind of rocky, and she actually is married to another teacher. They both work at the same high school. And then we also follow one of the students who had an incident with a teacher the previous year. They were getting a little too close, and she claims that nothing happened between them, but of course she's getting bullied. She is a huge fan of poetry, and so she's become one of the favorites of our other main character's husband. Again, he's also a teacher and he teaches English, and he favors her a lot, and it's getting to the point where it's getting very weird. He is definitely favoring her more than normal, and at first our student main character, she didn't seem that guilty, but now we are starting to see her unhinged side. She is a little crazy. I think I'm like 35% of the way through, and I'm gonna listen to that today as I clean. But for now, my baby is asleep, she's with her dad, and so I'm gonna sit down and read as much as I can before she wakes up and I have to feed her again. And I'm on page 174, so let's see how much I get read. Quite late, it's like 11 p.m. I figured I should wrap up my thoughts for today. I've actually stopped reading like around 7 p.m. but because I had a whole bedtime routine and I had to get ready for bed, which bedtime now takes a really long time now with the baby. Bath time, washing bottles, last feed, putting her to sleep, just getting everything ready, it takes some time. So I have finally put her to sleep. I've read up to, I think, 40% on The Teacher by Freida McFadden. It's funny because the last update that I made, I believe I said that our student is a little bit unhinged. She's kind of crazy. She has like these stalkerish tendencies, and it's funny because after I made that update, I pressed play on my audiobook and immediately like she confesses to something and I'm like, oh my god, okay, you're definitely crazy. And this specific relationship is starting to unravel, so that is catching my attention as well. It's starting to get good, I think. I am excited for tomorrow because I'm planning on getting some stuff done around the house, which means that I get to listen to my audiobook. So that's always a good motivation to get things done for sure. And then also I think I read maybe like 50 or 60 pages of Butcher and Blackbird. I'm sorry I don't have the book with me, it's in the room. And again, because my baby's already asleep, I came here to film the update. So because our two main characters are murderers, you can imagine the adrenaline that they get with their certain hobby. And now imagine them bottling up a whole bunch of feelings, and all that energy that they have been keeping up is finally unraveling, and they are finally, like, I would say, exploding. They are giving in to their temptations and just their feelings in general. What I was reading was quite a read. I do get why some people were not able to read through it, but me, I guess, I don't know. I hate to say that I can be a little numb to it because I don't want to be. But yeah, I do have like one little problem with the book though. I don't want to spoil anything, but let's just say that our main characters were put into a situation where they could have saved an innocent person's life, which is something that is like a big deal because they kill other serial killers because they're like disgusted by what they do to innocent people. They were put in a situation where they could have saved an innocent life if only they would just have reacted, but they were just kind of like there listening to this poor person being tortured, and I didn't like that. I feel like they could have definitely done something about it. They chose not to. I think they're just as bad now. So yeah, again, tomorrow I do have lots of chores to do, and let's be honest, I don't have to do them. I'm setting myself up for them because I want to have a good start to the week. Tomorrow is Monday, and I just want to finish the audiobook because it's pretty good. So for now, good night, and I will see you guys in the morning. I'm wearing my I Am Your Mother t-shirt. I wore this to my Star Wars gender reveal. Had a lightsaber, everything. I really thought that becoming a mom was going to like slow down my reading, which it did, but I'm glad to have gotten back into reading, and I'm happy to announce that I finished Butcher and Blackbird. So I'm gonna wrap it up. But because I did read The Teacher by Freida McFadden first, I'm gonna go ahead and talk about that first. I ended up giving this book a 3 out of 5 stars. Pretty average, I would say. It was an easy read, which helped a lot with getting back into reading. I'm giving it a 3 because it was entertaining, but I was not wowed in any way. There was no like plot twist or anything that could have made this book pop out over others. And there was a little plot twist, either the epilogue or the last chapter, but I want to say it was an epilogue. But the more I thought about it, it couldn't have been realistic just because there were too many connections. It's really hard to explain without spoiling, but basically, yeah, not possible. There had to be some kind of crossover at some point that could have made this impossible to have happened. I did mention the weird shoe obsession, and everything was just so predictable. I mean, there was nothing that I didn't predict. Not a bad read. Like I said, I was entertained. And then I also finished Butcher and Blackbird by Brynne Weaver. This I'm gonna end up giving a 2.5 out of 5 stars. Unfortunately, I was on the spectrum of I did not enjoy this And I really thought I was, because again, I love true crime. I listen to true crime all the time. People liked this because they were able to like stomach what was happening. And then there was other people that did not like it. It was too gory, too brutal, which I don't think it was too brutal. It was brutal, but not to the point where I was like grossed out, okay? And this was going to be a 3 out of 5 stars, except for 2 reasons that led it to a 2.5. First of all, the whole point of this is that these 2 serial killers kind of need someone to bond with. They kill other serial killers, okay? They get along because of that, obviously. It's not a secret to just tell anybody, and it's a shared experience that's really hard to share with somebody else. So the fact that there's this love interest starting because of that was very interesting. There was this part where they could have helped somebody and they didn't, and so that to me was, you know? And then, again, everything I could stomach, okay? Everything was, yeah, it was a little chaotic and pretty messed up, but which was the point of the book, right? I picked it up knowing that. But then page, I want to say it was 306. Yeah, no, yeah, 306 in the book of the month copy. That did it for me. I was so grossed out, and it has nothing to do with their activities as serial killers. It has to do with their activities behind closed doors. Okay, these serial killers have intense emotions and a very intense need to blow off steam. So in bed, it is pretty much the same. I was just so grossed out, like I could not, and I was like so close to DNFing, but like I was like 20 pages off of finishing. There is a bonus chapter that I didn't even read. I lost interest and I don't think I'm gonna read it, so I'm gonna take that out. Yeah, 2.5 out of 5 stars. Did not really enjoy this. Will I continue reading? I don't know if I should, because the epilogue did lead to like a problem, and so the second book, I believe there should be a little bit more of a problem, something more enticing for me to read. Even though I didn't have a great read, I am so glad that I was able to get back into reading, so glad that I am starting to get a roll on things and motivation to vlog again, most of all. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in my next one.